All right, today we're going to climb a ladder of ideas, one built by Elon Musk. We'll start with his companies, the stuff we see every day, and go all the way up to his wild theories on the very nature of reality itself. Because here's the thing, to really understand what he's building, you've got to first understand the one fundamental question that drives literally everything he does. And it all starts right here, with this one simple question. Musk says he had this existential crisis when he was about 12, and it became the literal source code for his life's work. You can think of it as the why that's programmed into every rocket, every car, and every line of AI code. So let's start at the bottom of the ladder. Section 1, the foundation, a quest for understanding. This is all about how that childhood question ended up shaping a massive technological empire. So get this. He was inspired by The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and it led him to this really fascinating conclusion. He believes the hard part isn't finding the answer to the meaning of life. He thinks the universe is the answer. The real challenge, the whole point, is to expand our collective consciousness so that we can finally figure out what the right questions are to ask in the first place. Okay, which brings us to the next rung on the ladder, connecting the human collective. It's all about building the actual tools to expand that global consciousness. And he actually uses this exact phrase, a human collective consciousness. Think about it like this. A human being is made up of, 30 to 40 trillion individual cells, right? And they all cooperate to form one single conscious being. He believes that a collection of humans, all connected, can achieve things that are just on a completely different level than anything a single person could ever do.
And when you look at his vision for X, it's explicitly not about creating what he personally calls brain rot, just an endless stream of videos for quick dopamine hits. No, the stated goal is to build a global town square, a place for actual thought and real connection.
And the foundation for that whole town square idea? Well, that's Starlink. It's designed to be the physical layer for global connectivity. It's not trying to compete with the fiber internet in big cities. Nope. Its purpose is to serve the least served, to create this incredible, robust laser mesh in the sky that makes sure information can flow everywhere, especially when disaster strikes. So, once humanity is connected on this massive global scale, what comes next? Well, for Musk, it's the Great Disruption. We're talking AI, robots, and the end of work as we know it. And he does not mince words about this. He calls the coming change a supersonic tsunami. He believes it's going to be the most radical transformation in all of human history. The scale and the speed of it, in his view, are almost impossible for us to even comprehend right now. This all leads to a prediction that is, it's pretty startling. He genuinely believes that in less than 20 years, having a job will be totally optional. He argues that AI and robots will create so much abundance that people will only work if they want to, like a hobby. And this would lead to something he calls universal high income, a shift that wouldn't just change our jobs, it would fundamentally change the entire structure of our society. And that prediction, it forces us to ask an even crazier question. I mean, if AI and robots can provide pretty much any goods or services we could ever imagine, what's the point of money? His answer? Well, eventually, money has no point. He sees it as just an information system for labor allocation. But if you don't need to allocate human labor anymore because robots are doing everything, that whole system just becomes obsolete. In his future, the very concept of money simply fades away. So this is where it all starts to click together. How do all his different companies fit into this picture? Well, what might look like a random collection of separate ventures are actually all converging toward a single, unified vision for this future of abundance. Okay, let's connect the dots here, because this is crucial. Tesla isn't just a car company, right? It's the world leader in real-world AI through its self-driving tech. SpaceX, well, that provides the transportation to space. And xAI is developing the core intelligence, the AI models. The combined goal of all this? A future with solar-powered AI satellites, a totally self-sustaining system of energy and intelligence. All right, so if that wasn't enough, after laying out this whole sci-fi future, Musk takes it one giant step further. Let's talk about life inside the simulation and questioning the very nature of our reality. And his core argument is actually super simple, and it's based on a trend we can all see happening. 50 years ago, the best video game we had was Pong. Literally 2 rectangles and a dot. Today, we have these massive photorealistic worlds, so just extrapolate that. If you follow that rate of improvement, it seems inevitable that games will become completely 100% indistinguishable from reality. So that brings us to the big one, the crucial question. If any civilization, anywhere, ever, got to that point of creating games that feel totally real, they wouldn't just make one. They'd probably make billions of them. So statistically, what are the odds that we happen to be in the one, single, original-based reality and not one of those billions of simulations? Musk's point is the odds are really, really not in our favor. And he adds this fascinating, almost Darwinian twist to the whole idea. He suggests that any uninteresting simulations would just get shut down. Think of it like a boring video game. You just turn it off, right? The only ones that would be left running are the ones that are compelling and interesting to some outside observer. And what that implies is that the most interesting, the most dramatic, the most unpredictable outcome in our world is actually the most likely one to happen. Okay, let's come back down to earth. After all that mind-bending stuff, Musk brings it all back to some really practical advice for anyone who wants to build something. A mission for today.
This right here is his core principle. Forget about chasing wealth or fame. The real goal, the guiding star for anything you do, should be this simple. Be a net contributor to society. Aim to create more value than you consume.
He basically argues that you can't chase money directly, just like you can't really chase happiness. It doesn't work. Instead, you have to focus on creating genuinely useful products and services. If you can actually succeed in making things that help people, he believes the money will just follow, as a natural consequence of the value you've created. And so here we are, right back where we started, with that same fundamental question. If Musk's predictions actually come true, if we end up in a future of total abundance where work is optional and money is obsolete, what will we do? In a world free from the daily grind for survival, what's going to give our lives meaning?